Welcome back to another episode of Innovate and Conversate, where we discuss the latest trends and innovations in the business world. I'm your host, Jana, and today we have Miss Aisha Abdelkader, certified leadership coach, master in HR, and certified positive intelligence coach. We will be discussing a very interesting topic, which is the GPS of change. Welcome, Miss Aisha.
Thank you very much, Jana, for having me, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today.
So let's start by defining the concept of GPS of change. What does it mean, and why is it so important in navigating transformation?
Yeah, so to be honest, GPS of change is a concept or analogy that I myself came up with when I was deeply thinking about change, how it starts, what is required from us when we are in the state of change, and how we can have successful transformation. And it starts with G, which is getting ready, or goal setting, if we put it in the organizational concept. It's about also preparation and mapping the change and starting the change and having, support system in place. So I would say GPS of change can be applied in organizations, in our day-to-day life, and it brings clarity because, as you know, Jana, change is ambiguous and it creates lots of uncertainty. And when we know the GPS of change, which direction we are going, it brings peace of mind and also clarity that we are going to have a change and transformation which are aligned with our values and purpose.
So if we want to go deeper into the components of GPS of change, yes. How can organizations effectively set their goals and communicate better?
Yeah, so having a SMART goal is something well known, right? But in my opinion, there is two very important components for the goal setting state, which is clarity. Clarity with, everything. That's going on, especially in organizations, because when the name of change comes, there will be like fear, so much fear. So, the employees must know what's going on exactly. There should be regular updates, and open channels of communication in the organization. So, to, let's say, come out or quickly come out of the state of this chaos that may happen at the beginning of the change process. The other thing is alignment. Alignment, I can say internal alignment and external alignment. Alignment with our values, mission, vision of the organization, and also external alignment with the market, with the country, and also worldwide. So I would say, when we think about change, the organization must think about two aspects. Hard aspects, which are strategies, policies, procedures, and also soft aspects, which are culture of the organization, mindset of the people, their behavior, attitudes, and all of these things. And the more we pay attention to co-creating the change with the people and with the employees, the better will be the result, and the barriers or resistance will be reduced.
That's amazing. I totally agree. When it comes to the assessing the current situation, what do you think organizations should mainly focus on during this phase?
In my opinion, assessing the current state can be done through thorough analysis of where the organization is standing in relation to the goal that it wants to achieve. And I think it should be done even before the goal setting. It should be done in a sense of knowing what is the reason for change, what are the problems that are there. 70% of the change initiatives that fails due to misdirection, lack of clarity, and not involving the employees in the process. So doing the change on them rather than with them. So I would say, and there is something called iceberg of ignorance. 100% of the frontline employees, they know exactly what are the true problems in the organization. But when it comes to the executive leaders, there are only 4%, that they really know what is the true problem. So when there is misunderstanding of the current state, there will be incorrect perspective of the change that may happen. And of course, at the end of the day, wrong decisions will be made.
So once the goals are set and they're clear in an organization, what would be the path to moving forward?
Yeah, it's about mapping and, so having milestones, detailed action plans, distribution of responsibilities, who needs to do what, to remove the ambiguity and be clear in our process, and also knowing our resources are enough, or we need to outsource something. For example, if the organization wants to have new software in place in the organization, so do they have the IT trainers in the organization, or they need to outsource it and bring it from outside? And also anticipating the potential barriers that may come across. So I would say it's a continuous process of observation, intervention, and also removing barriers.
Definitely. But when it comes to the obstacles that organizations face, how could they overcome it?
There are lots of barriers that may come across, right? There might be lack of clarity, as we said. So when employees think about the change, they will think about the benefit that the change may bring to them or what it will cost them. So having detailed, let's say, chart of current, transition, and future state would help a lot. So we'll bring, let's say, meaningful purpose behind this change. The other thing might be communication. That's why it's important to have the culture for change in the organization, to prepare the employees and make their communication skills stronger before anything happens. So teaching them the effective communication skills, tools and techniques for that. So we will avoid the weak communication during the change process. There might be also lack of resources, and it can be financial, it can be technological, and human resource. And also, when we say about change, there is resistance of change,
yes,
right? There are early adapters in the change process, and we can use them, or we can inspire them and help them to motivate the rest of the employees. And there is naturally this thing that, at the end of the day, there are people who will leave our organizations when change happens. And there is something called fatigue, change fatigue, when there is lots of change happening. It's not only one change, there's a couple of changes that are happening simultaneously in the organization. So these are basically some of the barriers and the ways that we can remove them.
How would you apply GPS of change in your own life?
Well, I'm applying it on day-to-day life. I came up with it. So, Jana, I understood that change, we need to understand that we need a change. And that can be done but by very simple act of observation and noticing ourselves. So, and also preparing ourselves, giving ourselves the permission to change and embrace it. And also learning tools and techniques that will help us to apply the change on day-to-day life. And I think this would help your individual audience, that would be beneficial to them, I believe.
I definitely agree. And how would organizations measure the effectiveness of the change that they're applying?
I think there can be lots of tools, lots of ways. They can apply combination of strategies such as like KPIs, key performance indicators, performance measurements. Some organizations do surveys to find out their sales figure, customer satisfaction figures, and all of this, so they can measure them by lots of ways.
So before we close this podcast, what would you advise our audience today?
To look at the change as an opportunity for growth and learning. There might be many ways to change, many approaches, many strategies, but what makes the difference is our mentality and willingness to change. And for organizations, I would say co-create the change with your employees. Have open door policies. So to have effective support system in place, and also focus on your vision and never forget to celebrate.
So thank you so much, Miss Aisha, for your insights. I believe every organization and every individual should apply GPS of change in their own way.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Thank you for our listeners for tuning in. We'd love to hear back from you on what topics you would like for us to discuss next. Until next time, stay innovative and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.